So next we have Vinod Chacko, founder of Flexi Cloud, who will take about why monolith architecture are still relevant. He will explore where containerization and microservices might be overkill and where monoliths still excel. So please welcome Vinod Chacko.
Okay. So this is more a thought exercise that you can take away from here than a technical session that like everyone else that has done. So this basically what I was trying to tell here is just a thought exercise that you need to do when you are architecting a software. Or the context of this discussion started, or when I had a discussion maybe a couple of years ago with a entrepreneur or who want to set up an application, and he need to bring a lot of technologies to it while his application is not that scalable. So I had a very hard debate with him, and then I started I had a very hard time convincing him he do not need to over engineer his application so that he can be on the edge. So he can be on the edge, but it will bring a lot of technical debt towards his application on maintaining it, and that is the whole crux of this presentation. And just so basically, when you architect something, you can definitely create a lot of containers and a lot of microservices, and it has its own advantages like portability, then efficiency, simplified DevOps, and those kind of things. And but why you should be doing it? So use cases where containers shines is like more of the microservices part, and if you need a replicated stuff like you need to have a dev stage, then production and multiple people working on it, and CI/CD is working, and cloud native applications and those kind of things. So most of the containerization and microservices works or is relevant when it comes to large applications, and it will need unpredictable scalability requirements. Like Adarsh was telling here, the Rapido is scalable in the morning, and it scales down to afternoon, and scales further up to in the evening, and then goes again down in the night. But there are applications which are mostly stagnant when it comes to the scalability part. Maybe it is 100,000 users every day, or every time you'll have a concurrent users of 1,000 users or 2,000 users, where the microservices or containers or those kind of scalability may not be needed. So that is one advantage of containerization. And then second comes multiple technology combinations. So if you have a lot of technologies that is used in the application, then you need to do that kind of scalability. Then you have option to scale horizontally. Then one server, two server, 200 servers, 2,000 servers, those kind of servers scalability is required. I mean, scalability is possible when you do the containerization and migration from one product provider or one location to another. So that is also advantages of containers or Kubernetes or whatever. Then look at what are the disadvantages of containers. So it is complex, very complex. So half of the time I was not able to understand why this tool is needed, or in few of these discussions, maybe those goes much beyond what I am thinking of. And sometimes they need edge technologies, and they need a lot of technologies we might not have heard of, and everyone comes with every day you will get a new technology to fix those things. So it is very complex and increased overheads, and it is latency, and there are multiple uh, network layers that plays between these microservices, containers, and dockers, and those kind of things. And then you will end up fixing those kind of things, and then add a lot of latency, network overhead, and those kind of things. Then deployment complexity. Is it complex? Not really, but uh, for a new person or not so very experienced in DevOps, the deployment can be very complicated. Monitoring and debugging, and monitoring and debugging is also, you need to bring your own monitoring solution, that is Prometheus, Grafana, and a lot of observability to manage, monitor the network flows, the CPUs, whatever it is. So you need to bring your own stuff along with these containers and those things. And what I have faced is cost and lack of ownership. Cost is a big factor when you deploy bigger applications or containerized applications on the cloud, as well as lack of clear ownership. One person will be telling, I mean, the pointing fingers. It is working in my system. This is not working in their system because that team is not working. Those kind of things happens a lot. And containers are not recommended where stateful applications, graphic or heavy rendering, real-time applications like embedded systems and those kind of things. And embedded systems, it includes IoT or vehicles and those kind of areas. Containerization will not work even though you are working on a scale. And HPC, where you need a lot of GPU requirements, and scaling of GPU may not be very easy with a containerized or shared hardware model. So there is a parallel universe going on where the DevOps is still very active. And so when a application is being built, the cost to the MVP is very low. You take a VM, you implement your stuff, you create the MVP, and then scale vertically until you need horizontal scaling. I mean, go to a vertical scaling, increase the CPU, increase the RAM, and maybe use a different database server and create a bigger and bigger server until you need infinite scalability. So that time you can re-architect everything, and then you can deploy on a containerized or a microservices stuff. And here I have seen a faster development cycle and easy debugging, and faster the response between the components is also faster because things are much intertwined. I mean, as it grows, as the scale grows, we may have to do this, but it can take time. So you can easily build things. You don't need to invest that much of money. You don't need to invest those kind of resources to it, the manpower. You don't need to look for a lot of highly experienced people to manage your DevOps or manage your stuff. But you can still develop your application, you can still get your things done, get your product developed and rolled to production, and then think about scalability. Or that is a business decision that you need to do. If you are, is the product going to scale? If my product is going to scale to an infinitely level, then I should be investing more on the technology and more on people and more on DevOps things, and then do that initially and burn a lot of money, and then at the end find that, oh, I did a mistake in the past, that I should be doing this, I should have been doing this, and then scale later. So, so a monolith is not ashamed to have, because there are a lot of companies who are still using monolith. I'm not telling monolith, the older ways, there are different ways of looking monolith as a production stuff as well. So POC you can do. So this is more a business decision than a technical decision. So how you need to build your POC and then move to MVP and then do the scaling architecture. So this is a mostly a business decision that comes with the revenue that is going to come with the business. So then if your application is not scaling up and down as it should be, why should you use more containers? So that is so Shopify and Stack Overflow. You know this thing is coming. Black Friday is coming, and Shopify is still on a monolithic modular design. So just imagine all these shops maybe 70 to 50 to 70% of the shops, online shops here are on Shopify, and it is on a monolithic modular design. Stack Overflow. I mean, has anyone not used Stack Overflow yet here? Anyone? No. So Stack Overflow is on monolith. Again, modular monolith. It's a different kind of setup. It is horizontally scaled, but that is again on a monolith. So that is the thought that you should be taking away. Should I need to over-engineer my application with a lot of container, or should I be sticking to the product that I want to build than the technology that I want to use in my product? So product first, technology later. Product first, scalability first. If you are going to scale it faster, then you should bring the technologist who can help you scale it. So that is my take on the scalability part. So now, how many people are going to use, or what is the state of monolith or digital transformation as we celebrating these days? So what is the state at present? 70 to 90% are still on monolith. It is the legacy companies, the most of the companies that you see which pays a lot, the financial institutions, insurance, everything is still using their old way of monolith, and a lot of big servers. Then the cloud adoption is still a big a unrealistic dream for these people. So they still use their old way of doing things, and lack of skilled resources. DevOps is very expensive resource in the market, and risk aversion. And if in the IT you says, if it is working, don't touch it. So that is the mantra for many of the legacy companies, or those Fortune 1000 companies or big enterprises which has been running for years. They are still on monolith. Maybe a part of their new products are on containerized architecture, and I don't even think they are API first even. So that is the entire thing. So again, going back to the name where the container came. So container containers kind of things can handle certain type of carriages. So let's decide what is being carried so that we can decide our vehicle. That's the end, guys. Thank you. So any questions or any thoughts? I mean, I don't think there is basically a question, but any thoughts that you have or counter argument you have, I'm happy to share my views as well. Exactly. So that is there are a few articles on the Medium which you should be looking at. I was working with another company which was 70th or 700th most popular website in the world, maybe a few years ago. So at that time, this containers or Docker was not there at all. So what we did was, there was a physical load balancer that we set up, and then there was multiple web servers, and then database servers, then file servers. So Stack Overflow, and then there was a caching server, then there was a static content server, then there was CDN. So there are multiple horizontal scaling itself, but they were not API driven. But this should be API driven. And if I am not wrong, Stack Overflow is running on Windows technologies, IIS, or there is a whole section of how they are running their servers, etc. So you should be able to find that in the internet. And Shopify as well. They are they have modularized their application, or certain parts of the website is running certain servers, and those kind of that is how they are orchestrating their infrastructure. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Vinod Chacko, for your insightful and engaging session. We warmly invite you to join us on the stage to receive a token of appreciation. Please.